Hello, my name is Dr. Ruthie. I'm a professional sexuality educator and a relationship coach. I blog over at exploringintimacy.com, but thanks to the folks at funwares.com, I'm here answering your questions on sex and relationships. If you want to send me a question, you can write to me at AskDrRuthie at funwares.com, AskDrRuthie at funwares.com, and I will look forward to your question and hopefully feature an answer here on YouTube. All right, so this question is from Linda from Utah. And Linda wants to know, Dear Dr. Ruthie, I have a problem with sex with my husband. It's not a problem with either of our bodies, and it's not about his technique. But no matter what we do, I seem to enjoy masturbating more than I like having sex with him. I have a lot of trouble having orgasms with him, but like I said, it's not his fault. And I have orgasms just fine by myself. I guess I just like masturbating better, and it doesn't seem like it should be that way. Please help. What can I do to make sex what it should be? Linda from Utah. Thank you so much for sending in that question, Linda, and it is something that lots of women wonder, and I know I say that a lot at the beginning of my videos, but it's true. If it's something that you're wondering about quite frequently, it's something that a lot of other people are wondering about too. The first thing I want to tell you, Linda, and I don't know if you've brought this up with your husband or not, but pass the message on to him if you two are in conversation about this. The first thing I want to tell you is that you're absolutely normal. For both men and women, regardless of the gender of the partners that we're with, most of us have an easier, more prompt time having an orgasm by ourselves than we do with our sweeties, but this is particularly common for women. But I do hear about it from men regularly too. There's a lot of different reasons for this. The first, probably most obvious reason is that when you are masturbating, when you're touching yourself, you're able to give yourself the exact kind of pleasure that you want with automatic feedback. So if you need to move a little to the left, you don't even need to think about it. You just automatically move a little to the left. Or if you need to keep up the pace, but with more firm pressure, you'll automatically do it without having to communicate it to anyone. So that might be the number one reason why this works out better. The number two reason, I think, is expectations are there, that you please yourself, but there's not expectations for anything else. Not that you put on a good show, not that you're mindful of what your partner is looking for, not that you finish in a certain amount of time, or in a certain way, or from a certain type of stimulation. The only expectation you have is that you masturbate like you always have been, instead of involving other people in more complicated acts and things like that. So unless you're trying to masturbate and falling flat at your goal of having an orgasm, you're likely to satisfy all of your expectations and requirements. Other things can happen as well with women and with men, but I hear it more often from women. For instance, if you actively fantasize while you're having sex or while you're masturbating, it's easier to make your self-stimulation match with your fantasy than it is to get your partner to match with your fantasy, especially if you're not expressing to them what that fantasy is and how you'd like them to participate and play along with it while you're touching yourself. Oftentimes women tell me that they find that stimulation from their partner is distracting to getting off, that they know how they want to do it and they're used to that, and their partner's attention can get them harder make it harder to reach the goal. They have to concentrate harder to make it happen. That can be for a lot of different reasons, but that's a common reason as well. And I think the last thing that people don't necessarily realize is that all of us can get in the habit of having orgasms in certain ways. For instance, you're probably used to certain positions, certain locations, perhaps a certain consistency or brand of lubricant, or a certain, vibration intensity of your toy. Whatever the case may be, you probably have certain habits about how you orgasm and stimulate yourself. And when we get in a certain habit of orgasming in certain ways, it's difficult to have orgasms and pleasure in other ways. And that's not a problem. It's just a habit, and calls us to the really fun homework of establishing a set of habits of how we get off instead of just falling into one particular way. So what do we do? The first thing that I would encourage you to do, or that I often encourage people to do, is to consider sharing masturbation, since it's successful for you, with your partner. Wow, so this can feel really vulnerable for a lot of folks, especially women. I'm successful in touching myself, but I never share that, and there's a million reasons why. And when it makes you feel more vulnerable, that's also an opportunity to increase intimacy which is something that we want out of our sexual encounters with our partners. It's also an opportunity for you to show them what you like and for them to be a part of your successful orgasm without stimulating you. So for instance, they can be holding you and doing something that enhances your masturbation, rubbing your shoulders, clasping your breasts, whatever it is that works for you. Just being quiet and hugging you, keeping the blanket from falling off your lap if the air conditioner is cold, whatever it is that you need, handing you new batteries in an emergency moment, whatever they can do to help that works for you. So that can start to give you a more regular experience of having orgasm with your partner, while also opening up the door to different ways to have orgasm with your partner. Because really and truly, stimulating your clitoris with your own fingers or your own toys can be the best way to orgasm, whether you're with your partner or not. So if they're stimulating you in different ways at the same time, that can be a great partnered activity. And thus expanding your definition of what successful sex is really important. And getting in the habit of having good orgasms with them, whether it's produced by you or produced by them, is really important too. Jumping ahead to the goal of saying, I'm not having orgasms with my partner, next week I want to start having orgasms that my partner gives me. That's a really huge leap in sexual change and intimacy. So taking it a step at a time, getting used to having orgasms in front of your partner, getting used to communicating what it is that leads you to those orgasms with your partner, and your partner getting used to receiving that communication and how to follow it. Right? Getting used to breaking the habit of only orgasming in one particular way, and moving forward from that step by step. All of these things can make us feel a little vulnerable and a little nervous, but they should be the fun kind of homework. If it doesn't work this time, then we'll try something else next time. And, always have a positive plan B. If masturbating in front of your partner, with your partner there in the room holding you or whatever, just falls apart and you can't do it, you don't need to just stop. You don't need to wait to the point where it's all over and you just have to stop. You say, you know what, this isn't working for me, but remember that plan B we had just in case it's too much, where we have a little bit of phone sex, or you leave the room, or you sit somewhere different so you're not looking at me. So you have that backup plan that's pretty much guaranteed to work for you, so that you end up with a positive experience no matter what. So try to have the good experience with the goal that you want to meet, a baby step at a time. But if it doesn't, have a positive fallback. I'm not getting off, but I would really love is for you to give me a really good back massage. So this is a relaxing, bonding experience for us, even though it's non-orgasmic. Great, right? So yeah, continue with the steps, have a good plan B, and slowly move your way towards your goal. Now, once you start having orgasms with your partner, you may still find out that your orgasms by yourself are better or stronger, and that's okay. My main worry from your letter is that it sounds like you just aren't getting enough positive intimacy and pleasure out of your sexual experiences. So I was more worried that you don't seem to be enjoying sex as much as you'd like to be. I'm not worried about you enjoying sex more than you enjoy masturbation. We enjoy them for different reasons, and ease of stimulation or ease of orgasm, usually that falls on the masturbation side. Intimacy, different kinds of pleasure, a feeling of bonding, the joy of having partnered sex, all of those things are good reasons to like partnered sex over masturbation. So pros and cons to both, right? Okay, I think that's enough to get you started. I'm Dr. Ruthie. I'm so glad that you wrote to me, and I will see you at the next video. Thanks to funwares.com for making this possible.